I have tried a lot of different vintage digital point and shoots now, and the one that really stands out for me is this one here, a Sony S70 from the year 2000. And the thing I like about this camera is that it has both good image quality and a very distinct vintage digital look to it. Now you might say that it's a contradiction, like vintage digital look and good quality, but when you're into this sort of cameras, that's what you're kind of looking for. One reason for the image quality on this camera is because they have used a Carl Zeiss lens, a high quality lens, so it helps you get the most out of the 3.3 megapixels SSD sensor. Another thing I like are the features on the camera. For example, you have a lot of function buttons for different things, and also you have a lot of manual functions like some exposure modes like aperture, shutter priority. There's like different focus modes, you can change the white balance. Yeah, a lot of things. I actually prefer Digicams which you have like settings that you can change on, because it does help getting like things like white balance and focus correct. And there's also a viewfinder, and it's actually kinda big enough for composing the photo. It's not that accurate to what the photo actually will turn out to be, but it's actually better than nothing. The screen itself is not that good for composing the photo, at least when it comes to like the colors and exposure, but otherwise of course it shows what you will get, so that's the advantage of that. So I have been using both the screen and the viewfinder for composing photos. They do complement each other quite well, and there are a few different like information LEDs on the next to the viewfinder, so you know when you take the picture. Otherwise there is no information in the viewfinder. And on the top here you have a small information screen, and it has shows the resolution and battery and so on. Some information, not the most useful ones. Of course it doesn't have like full manual settings anyway, the camera, so yeah. But if you want to say on the battery when not using the screen, this top screen is quite good for that. Although I haven't had no problem with battery time on this camera, it keeps quite a long time. One thing that is not so good about this camera is the layout of the buttons. There's really no intuitive feel to what these different buttons do. Like they're just buttons here. There's this four-way button you can navigate with. That is quite good, but otherwise, yeah. It shows that Sony did not have the same experience as Canon and Nikon for making stills cameras. Sony were mostly making video cameras. And also I noticed there are some things which are exactly the same as on the Mavic cameras, like the power button. You press it in and slide it down to turn it off, turn it on. It's a bit difficult to use sometimes. Not my favorite button, but it's okay. Otherwise, the usability is a bit in need of improvements. If you turn on the camera with the lens cap on, it will give you an error. And when I first time turned on this camera, I actually did that, so it was a bit disappointment, like, oh no, is the camera broken, or did I break it or something? But you just take it off and turn it off and on again, and then it works. A little bit of a trap built in there. But yeah, in any case, taking photos is very straightforward. Just press the button or half press the button to confirm the focus and exposure, and then press it fully and you get this wonderful sound. Actually, you can turn it off, but I chose to have the sound on because if you're using the viewfinder and taking a picture, you're not exactly sure when you take the picture, so the sound is very good to get the confirmation that for sure you got the picture, you took the picture. And overall the sounds, it has the same beeping sounds as the Mavic. Let's see if you can turn it on. Now it's on. It's the same beeping sounds like on the Mavic, so that's quite cute. Even though it can get a bit annoying also, so I only have the shutter sound on. Another bad thing about the camera is that after you take the photo, it takes some time to actually record the data to the card. It's not super fast, but it's not too slow either. It's 1, 2, 3, about 3 seconds or so. If you use the TIFF mode, it takes even longer, very long. I have not used TIFF files on this because the only card I have for it is a 16 megabyte one. The maximum card size you can put in is 128 megabytes, and these memory stick cards are not that easy to find, not this small sizes, at least not genuine ones. There is a lot of them for sale on the Chinese eBay, but I don't know the source of them, if they're just copies, so I don't know if they can be trusted or not. So I could of course try to just order one and test it out and see if they are good quality or not, but yeah. So you can imagine I don't get so many shots per card, maximum 10 or so, usually 8. Depends on the light conditions. If it's more bright light, the pictures take less space, so that's good. In summer I'll get maybe even 12, 15 photos per card. But it's not actually a problem. It's quite nice to have this limitation on this camera because I don't use it for like professional things, of course. Just have it like as an everyday camera. If I see something interesting, I take a picture. And for one day, like, I mean, 10 pictures is more than enough usually. So it's not too bad limitation. And if I don't like the photos, I can always go and delete to make room for something more crucial. And the other thing that is slow on the camera is when you review the photos. When you first like turn on the function, it takes a while for it to load. There's like a blue screen, then the photo turns up. You go to the next photo, the same thing, takes a while to load. So that was a bit surprising at first, like, is this thing even working? But yeah, it's just slow. And also you cannot zoom into the photos, so you cannot like check any details of how they turn out. So when it comes to the photo quality, well, I like it. I say that it's good. Of course, you have to make your own judgment about that. Overall, the like exposure is good, the color is good. The white balance is mostly correct. Sometimes it has given me really like strange white balances. But of course you can correct that if you check the photos. I didn't check the photos at the time when I was just taking some photos, and then I checked them later. Okay, the white balance is completely weird. Sometimes when overexposing the photos, I got this weird like pink colors in the overexposed areas. It seems to be some kind of CCT glitch. Maybe the camera is about to stop working or something. Hope not. I had some flickering in the screen as well, but yeah, I don't know. It seems to be working correctly. Still, I don't know if this glitch is a common thing for this camera model or if it's something which this camera has developed like uniquely. Yeah, but I hope it doesn't get worse. So overall, this is quite nice Digicam, a little bit older type, but yeah, quite fun to use. Very different experience from today's cameras. But actually, I had no idea this camera existed before I found it in a flea market. I got it for 3.5 euros, a very low price. But of course I had to get a battery for it. Like, you can get okay ones for like 10 euros or so. So it's quite a cheap experiment in any case. So the price I paid for it is of course like super low compared to what the camera actually cost in the year 2000. They would have been closer to like 1000 euros or something. But of course that is to be expected. I mean, in general, Digicams are not valued very highly in the flea markets, or until recently, that is. Last year, you could like wait until they were put on sale for like 50%, 75%. So if I saw a Digicam in the flea market, I could just wait and get it for like a few euros. But recently, I had noticed that if you wait, they disappear. Like, someone else is buying them also now, it seems. But yeah, it was quite an interesting experience using this camera. I will continue using it for like everyday photos and so on. We'll also continue trying new ones. So yeah, if you want to see more reviews about old cameras, not just Digicams, but also film cameras, you can always subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!